G'day folks, it's been a couple of weeks since the last outing. You would have seen a couple of videos that I put up. It's blowing me out of the water, guys, how well it's all running. It's just unfriggin' believable. I've just pulled the plugs out of it the other day just to have a little quick look at it, and they're unbelievable. They're really, really consistent. I don't know, things are starting to just come together. It's incredible. The brakes on this are just phenomenal. We had a bit of a wet track to start with, and I haven't put any videos up of that actually, and I probably won't bother with it. I was just treading really lightly, and it was impossible to get any traction because every time I get on it, it was just spinning the tyres. So I ended up having to adjust the brake though. The first time I went out, I had the dial set on the balance bar about halfway. It's 14 turns to front to rear. So I had it 7 turns, which is roughly half. And I locked up the rear a couple of times in the wet. Couldn't get much heat in the tyres. It was hopeless. So I ended up backing it to the front. I think it was anti-clockwise, yes, anti-clockwise. 2, maybe 3 turns. And what that did, it backed off the rear and applied more front, and that fixed the problem. But what happened was, as the day progressed, this track started to dry out, and I ended up leaving. I forgot all about it. And I felt the front dive a bit, and it felt like it was how it used to be when the rear brakes went off on the drums. And I never picked up this until I got home. So I'm a bit annoyed with myself because I probably should have dialed it back again to get more rear brake. So I've got to learn this as we go. It's all foreign to me, but the pedal's unreal. Yes, you've got to push on it a bit more, but I found once you get some heat into these discs, front and rear, after about a lap it takes, sort of 2 good hard braking points, you don't have to push as hard. They start to bite the pads, and they're awesome. Incredible pedal left. It was great feel. I had absolutely no fade whatsoever. Mind you, in the videos I wasn't pushing hard at all. I think I did a 67, a minute 7, which is nothing. I've done a 64 down there on buggered brakes. It was just basically a day to test things out, and it was phenomenal, those brakes. When I'm coming around the sweeper, I don't get any vibration at all now. I used to have a little bit of shimminess going in the back. It just felt like it was in the back part of the wheels even. And I've had them wheels and new tyres all balanced to perfection, which it did improve, but it was still there. I've put it down to those drums were buckled, because now we've got a disc on it, and it's like we've got a bit of inertia, like a little bit of a counterweight around it, and it seems to have smoothed everything out. So it's silky smooth. It's incredible now. Oh, it's phenomenal. It really is. The tune-up, as it is, stands now, and I've done a few changes to it. The tune-up is a little bit rich. You probably would have heard it in the video. A couple of times you could hear it missing a little bit. And when I glanced down at the air fuel, or when I sort of checked it again over the video footage, it was into the 6s. Way too rich. So what I've gone and done, I've gone and pulled one size jet out of each corner, because there's a 5 jet size difference on this side of the carb to richen up this side of the engine. And I've just, the plugs are unbelievable. They're really, really close. So what I've gone and done, pulled a jet out of it, And I've actually gone up in boost, 3 pound. I've got a 10-pound spring. I wanted to do it, it's ready to do it, the fueling's just unbelievable, and I want to do a little brake pull. That'll be the next video, guys. So I'm going to put my old plugs back in, I'm going to get it all warmed up and just do a few little baby pulls, just get a feel of it, and then I'm going to chuck a new set in and I'm going to do a real hard hit on these brakes, on the rear brakes, because I can load this engine up fairly well. Like I can't hold it back, but I can sort of encourage a fair old load on it. And that'll give me a bit of an idea on where the timing is. So that'll be interesting. Obviously it's never going to get as hot out on the track. So what I set up here with timing, I want fairly conservative. Even if the timing, say, is halfway on the strap, to me that would still be a bit aggressive. So I'd like to say pull 1 or 2 degrees out of the timing. As it was on 7 pound, it's very close. It's right on that bend, and I'm very, very happy. Just a tad rich in that sense. So I'll do a little pull on it, like I said, on the next vid, and we'll just get an idea, and I'll show you the plugs, and we'll go from there on that one. But oh, look, it's phenomenal. It really is. So pleased with it. I made a little bit of a boo-boo. You'll probably notice in the rear view mirror, I think it might have been on the 3rd lap, a fair bit of smoke started to come out of it, and out of the rear. I actually never even noticed it, but I did notice some oil leaking out around this area off the front of the head, and I couldn't work out what the hell was going on. Turns out, when I got home, the rocker covers, the studs, or the little screws, the little Phillips screws that I'm using, were all loose. That side wasn't as bad, but this side was terrible. I had the covers off it just to check the rocker gear and do a bit of a once over, and I never ended up, I forgot to tighten them up. So that's hence all the oil. I had to clean it all up. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, it just dropped down onto the header pipes and underneath, and it was blowing out from underneath there. So that's all that was. Easy fix. So other than that, it's absolutely running incredible. It's awesome. These power valves that I've got in the car deliver that fuel when you need it. You notice coming out of the hairpin, it's instant. There's no bogging. I've got a nice lean tip in. It's bloody awesome. It's incredible. It really is. So 10 pounds of boost now, which is, look, a lot of you guys say is nothing. Well, it mightn't be a lot of boost, but you've got to remember this little engine's got a really nice little set of heads on it. It's got a reasonable camshaft, and it doesn't take a lot of boost to get this thing motivated. So, and it's not a very heavy car. I've actually weighed it. It comes in at 1,340 kilo. That was before I even did the brake mod. I haven't weighed it since that, and I know I've pulled out about 8 or 9 kilos, so we're well under 3,000 pounds for a car that's, you know, a fair size. And the front to rear weight ratio, last time I checked, was 56-44. So 44%, 56 over the front. So it's not far off being fairly balanced. And since I've pulled the power steering off, guys, it's going to be even better. I want to weigh this thing in the next few weeks when I get a chance, and I'll let you know on the update on that, guys. So it's great. I've got a little update on, I've got actually a couple of little bits. Oh, I'll show you now. I ended up buying another Torque manifold. This is for my HX utility project that I'm embarking on in the next few months. I'm actually going to start on my engine, and that engine that I've been talking about for a while is going into the HX. So I picked up a refurbed Edelbrock Torque manifold. Guy's done a really nice job of it. tweaked it up, cleaned it. It's beautiful. So I picked that up on eBay, and you'll never guess. I ended up buying another. Well, I haven't got them in my hands, but I'm picking up another set of heads, alloy heads, which are the Dave Bennett version. The earlier version basically of these Dash 3 Yellow Terrors. They're not a high port, but they're an aluminium head, and I'm picking them up bare. They've got no valves or nothing in them. Off a fella that I've got to know quite well, Roller Motive, he calls himself, and he's an awesome mechanic, and he's on the mainland in Melbourne. And yes, can't wait. I'm going to put them, the Dave Bennett's, on this 308 that I'm going to build up. And I've got George going to fit the valves. He's going to do a complete, set them all up for me. So I can't wait for that to start to happen. But unfortunately at the minute, I'm just going to have some patience because of, well, what's going on in Melbourne with the lockdown. Don't get me started on that. I think that's all a load of bloody bullshit, that. But anyway, hopefully in the next few weeks and months, those guys will be back to business and that'll be all done and dusted. Let's hope and pray, because those guys over there, I really feel for you, having to cop that crap that's been going on. It's unbelievable. But I'm just so happy with these heads, these new Dave Bennett heads. So what I'll try and do, I'll get some pictures of it next video, and I'll show you the heads, and I'll have a little bit more of a talk about it. I think from memory, well, from what I can gauge, I think they've got the bigger inlet valve than these ones. They're off a, what was it, an Oz car? No, Commodore Cup car. So they might have been off a 253 maybe, cubic inch. But they'll be going on to a 308. So that one I'm building up is a stock stroke 308. This is a 355 cubic inch, so it's going to be great. I'm going to buy a turbo the same as what I've got, GT4202. It's a Journal, 75mm comp wheel with a 82mm turbine and a 1.01 AR exhaust housing. So I'll get another one exactly the same. I'll get a carb very similar to this. I'll probably just get an E85 carb. Obviously I'll do my little boost reference trick on that. And I'm going to sort of mimic the whole setup with this, like with the Aeromotive reg fuel pump, because I know this works, and I know it works incredibly well. Why change? Why fix something that's not broken? I know this whole combination works. I'm going to duplicate it into my HXU. So I really can't wait to get moving on it. But like I said, it's just going to take time. I'm in no big hurry. So that's where it is at the minute, guys. I've got another club day on the 28th of November, so next month. So I'm getting it sort of prepped up for that. Hopefully I'll get a bit quicker down there, get down back to my 64 time. Look, if the weather's good and I'm feeling good in the car, I hadn't been in the car for so long and I'd done so many modifications to it, I'd lost a lot of confidence that day. But you know, 67, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's quite alright. We're just going to slowly creep up on it. The power steering, the electric power steering pump, that Astra mod, the Astra power steering pump mod is unbelievable. It's actually lighter than the original motor driven pump. It's just phenomenal. It never missed a beat the whole day. It was just faultless. So what I've done to this, guys, works, and it works incredibly well. I'm just so thrilled with it. It's amazing. It really is. It's a beast of a little car. So I'm very happy and very proud of myself for sticking at it for 7 years and yes, I made a lot of mistakes on it, blew a couple of motors up, but you cannot buy that experience, guys. That's what I'm sort of getting on with this channel. Yes, you can go and pay someone to do it, but there's no fun in that. And for me, I can apply that to anything else that I put my hands to now, because I've got all this knowledge in my head, and it's just so satisfying. So, this is it, where it stands now. Dear oh dear. Well, I hope everyone's okay in the world at the moment, because there's a bloody huge change going on. A lot of you guys are probably not aware. I've done a lot of research in the last sort of 6 or so months, but in the last probably 2 months, I've just been on awakening, and I'm understanding what's playing out in the world at the moment, and it's a good thing. Trump will win. That's an absolute. I don't care what anyone says. He will win. And he's going to bring down the deep state, continue doing that, expose all the corruption that's been going on in this world, guys. It's horrendous. And we're in for a new world, which is peace, love and compassion. It's going to be completely different. Trust me on it, guys. And if you don't believe me, do your research. There's a lot of people who've got their head in the sand, so to speak, don't want to know about it, but it's happening as we speak. So it's all in time, things will get revealed, and there's nothing to fear at all. And you'll see about all the lies and manipulation that this humanity's been put under for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's unbelievable, mind-blowing stuff. Alright folks, well that'll do me for now. I'll get these plugs in the next day or two when I get a chance, or probably later in the week. I do 2 days worth of work a week now. I've trimmed right back with my work, and I've just been focusing on with my wife, and she's doing incredible. Oh, that's unbelievable. Nearly walking. It's an absolute miracle. And you know what, guys? It's all natural remedies. No pharmaceuticals. It's just diet, it's meditation. She's gone on a spiritual journey. She's dragged me into it, and both of us are awake. And therapeutics, natural therapeutics, and she's just recovering from MS that she's had for, I think, since 2011. And she was wheelchair bound. She nearly died about 2 years ago. I was in a dark, dark space back then, and all of a sudden she's starting to turn around. She's putting weight on. It's friggin' unreal. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. She's getting up out of bed on her own now. So I'm on this journey of just looking forward to the future, guys, because in my eyes everything's going to work out beautiful. So don't fear, folks. Believe in yourself. Alright, enough of my little rant. I'll do a little update in a few days' time with the little pull and see how the fuelings are, and we'll read these plugs. I'm very keen to do that. Alright guys, well, she's all running good, and I'll pop another one up soon. Catch yous later.